So I
Yeah.
visited your city several times, but sometime I just
When that when that
uh,
when
probably about last year. Yeah, last year, 2019. I also spent my holiday with my family in in Gandaria Beach. I mean, it's not Gandaria City. So just taking vacations and uh, taking a train from Padang to Pariaman is also kind of you know traveling.
do you
Okay.
think my beach is beautiful, sir?
Yeah, yeah. It's compared with Padang. I think Pariaman City's beach are better, and even it's not the best one. But we know that, like in Pesisir Selatan, for example, there are many beautiful beach where cleaner and also the natural situation is also supported. But yeah, at least in Pariaman, also we still have a very
It
clean.
many support from my government.
Yeah, I
Thank
see.
you, sir.
I see. And also your, I mean, your major of district will also graduated from our department actually, but the previous major, but recently the new major we don't know whether it's graduated from our department or not. Okay, thank you very much, Adip.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, I will ask to, okay, Imam. So you are now a Kirsten and a monitor. So Imam, would you mind to introduce yourself? Since I just know little about you, that previously probably you live in Lubuk Linggau, right? Am I correct about you? Please, Imam,
Yes,
would you mind, yeah. Would you mind to turn on your camera so everybody could see you here? Because this is the first time we met.
I'm sorry, sir. I just turned on my camera, sir.
Uh, it is better to turn it on so we can see your face, your handsome face, and you're like,
I'm sorry
yeah.
that you can't see my face,
No, we cannot.
but
But
I
usually we can
just
see it.
turned my camera on, sir.
I see. So probably you have a problem with the setting. That's okay. So, Ma, would you mind to introduce yourself to us here? So at least about your general information, where you live,
Yes,
and
sir.
yeah, please.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. Sir. Let
Yeah.
me introduce myself. My name is Imam Pitra. I was born in Singkut, December 17, 2001. I just
Mm-hmm.
lived in Lubuk City, South Sumatra, and I chose the biology in Andalas University. And exactly that I didn't have any experience in English, but I try my best there. And I really interested with English. And my hobbies is reading and to know the fact about the scientists want, and that's really interesting for me. So I just a majority of biology. That's the cause because I like biology too, and I'm interested with the English, sir.
Okay, that's great. I consider that your English is better, probably better than me. So I'm happy to know that many of us, the new students, are having a very great proficiency in speaking English, and probably, do you also speak another language beside English? Whether you learn about like Germany or Japanese or
Oh, I'm just learn about the Korean, sir, and
great.
about the French too.
I say, so do you love Korean movie? Because many, youngers in Indonesia love to watch the
Yeah,
Korean
sir.
movie
Yes,
and
sir.
try to
And
mimic
I'm just
styles. So
and
that
I'm
there
just
are
from
also great
international high school,
opportunity for
sir.
you to also visit Korea some days, because we also have there are many scholarships available to you to study in Korea, and sometimes we also have a student exchange program between our department or our university with like National Seoul University in Korea. So it's better.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I would like to see another student. So Anissa Zahra,
You're welcome, sir.
Anissa, Anissa Zahra. So now we can see your face. Anissa, can you?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so you are now on. Okay, Anissa, would you mind to introduce yourself to us here so we can, uh, at least we can get some information from you.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Anissa Azahra. My nickname Anissa. Maaf sebelumnya, Pak. Kalau hidupin kameranya, jaringannya ngelek, Pak.
Oh, that's
Suaranya
okay.
jadi
That's okay.
putus-putus gitu, Pak.
Okay, okay. I understand about it because
Oke.
yeah, we have a problem with connections when we turn on the camera, right? So,
Thank you, sir.
well,
My name is Anissa Azara. My nickname Anissa. I like reading. I like watching movies. I'm come from Padang Pariaman and I live in Sungai Saria, Padang Pariaman.
I see. So you also, uh, you have many friends from Pariaman, I think, in our department as well, and also some of our. Do you know Pak Jabang, Mr. Jabang, Jabang Nurdin?
Yes, I know, sure.
Yeah, so he is also from Parliament, and he lives in Parliament and just going back from our university to Parliament. So nice to see you, Anissa. So what was your senior high schools? Did you graduate from senior high school number one,
Uh,
number four in Parliament City?
I'm senior high school number one, Sichin Share.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Okay. That's great to see you, and hopefully that you will enjoy learning in our department, and also consider about your future, focusing on biology for your life. Thank you, Anissa. So for the latest one, I would like to who will be the next? I will try to say another students. I don't have to notice about. Okay, who is Ramadan? Ramadan is Ferdina Wina Javaria. Previously, I had marked some of you. Fani Padmawati Parma. Are you presenting him? Fani, okay. Fani, would you mind to introduce yourself to us here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Hello, sir. My name is
Yeah.
Fani Fatmawati Parma. My nickname is Fani. I'm from Padang, and I live in Padang too, in Alai Parakopi, sir. And I'm here with my family, my mom, my father, and my little brother, sir.
Oh, that's great that you are living with your parents and you don't have to, consider about cooking by
Yes, sir.
yourself and just suffering of homesick. So that's great that
Yes.
you are living with your parents. But probably in the future, you also have to consider living away from your family because that's sometimes it is, even that could triggers the homesickness, but at another side, it could also triggers your maturity, improve your ability to adapt to the new situations, like living abroad, for example, when you live in South Korea, for example, or in USA. That's important. So actually, one of our it's not one, two of our teachers in our department also live in Alay Parak Kopi. Do you know Pak M. Nazri Jandra and also Pak Saifullah? They are also living in Alay Parak Kopi. So, okay. Thank you. So, Fanny,
Yes, sir.
I mean, did you graduate from senior high school number one or number 10 in Paran City or number five?
I'm from senior high school 3, sir. Number 3.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now it's number three. Okay, great to know about you, Fanny. Hope you will enjoy our
Yes,
lecture
sir.
and also enjoy your life also as well because you are living with your family, right? It's quite different if you live alone.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Fanny. So everybody, since that we have a very limited time to uh, know each other. But hopefully that in the future we also will interact physically, not only through the online systems like this, because it's a bit different if you meet directly offline, and it's compared with the online meeting, because yeah, we couldn't make a close connections involving the emotional aspect of life. So everybody, I would like to share my screens. So it is time for me to introduce myself. I bet that none of you know about me. Probably only Fauzan, right? For thousands, I met thousands since he was a very tiny baby, for probably, yeah, about decades ago. Okay, so now I'm sharing my slide. And I would like to introduce myself using this slide. Oh, sorry. Can you see my slide now?
Yes, sir. I see that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I see.
Yes, sir.
So thank you. So in these lectures with me, even in only in 3 weeks, probably, or 3 times meetings, I hope that we could obtain some improvement in our English proficiency. And I'd like to call our lecture as a super basic English lesson. So super basic, it's mean the below the basic. So so that is basic, but we are learning in very low level of English lessons. Why call that? Because you know generally speaking, that I also have a very limited proficiency in teaching English, because I never have experience in focusing on learning English, because my major is in biology. I got a bachelor degree in biology, master degree also in biology, and also my PhD degree also in biology, and therefore it is impossible for me to claim that I am proficiency. I mean, I'm qualified enough to teach you or to study with you, learning and focusing on English, on kind of English matter. And therefore, I would like to call it super basic English lessons. So here it is about me. I am originated from Europe. That was small, I mean, a lot decade ago. I lived there, and I was born in Bengkulu. So Imam, we are closer actually in our hometown. So I spent my childhood, and also I spent my uh, until I graduated from senior high schools. Then I decided to move to Padang and taking my educational degree, and also in Dallas University. So it is almost 2 decades ago that I decided to move to Padang. So now I'm living in Padang, and ever since I also occasionally visit my hometown, because my parents are living there. And my entire family also living in Bengkulu. But due to pandemic, like in this current situations, that um, I don't want to take a high risk being infected by such a virus like a COVID, causing COVID-19. Therefore, I just postponed our visiting on our hometown, and because I have a baby, so it's when we decide to return back to Tura or to Bengkulu, we usually uh, taking a flight from Padang directly to Bengkulu. But it's quite uh, we may getting such infections when we take a travels and long travels, and therefore we just decide for spending these years only in our home and without going nowhere. I mean, going nowhere. Okay, so that's about my hometown. And also about 12 years ago, there was an opportunity for me to join in our department, in biology department. So since 2008, it was December 2008. I have been an academic staff in our department, biology department, and my major is an animal physiology, and therefore I performed lectures and also research in animal physiology. So I'm not interested very well in another kind like botany or taxonomy, animal taxonomy, or even plants taxonomy, because I'm just focusing on my major in animal physiology. And so that's my career, my first career. I immediately after I graduated from my master degree, then I got my opportunity to be a staff of a biology department. And yes, years later, so about 7 years ago, I also got an opportunity to pursue my PhD degree in medical science, because um, I am so interested with something like medical matter, including also my research, and therefore I took this opportunity. That was a great opportunity for me. So I got a scholarship, a full scholarship between, from Indonesian government also, and from GT Medical University in Japan. Therefore, I was very lucky having such opportunity for studying in medical university. So even I am a biologist, and I also from biology department that is not closely related with, I mean, institutionally it's not closely related with medical university, but yeah, that's quite a great opportunity for me that then I got the opportunity for studying medical matter in GT Medical University. So in such university, I spent 4 years, so until 2017. In organ and cellular physiology laboratory. So this is the pictures of us spending the, welcoming the spring. So early in spring, there are cherry blossoms, the blooms everywhere. So we sometimes celebrate it with the entire members of the lab, with my professors, and also about with other students, I mean, and other researchers in the laboratory. And also in this university, so yeah, this is me that I love actually snow, but only love snow. I had the temperatures because the temperatures was very low, and it made me suffering of hypothermia, and kind of many diseases that I got from winter seasons. But that's quite a great experience for me. And I in general, in my PhD degree, I investigated the neurons in the brains. So I focus on neuroscience. So I investigated the particular neurons related to the feeding behaviors that it controls our desire to eat and our desire to drink much sugar, for example. And that was my my research during my PhD degree. And yeah, in that they have a very cutting edge technology in investigating the physiology, the biology in many levels, from molecular, cellulars, and organelles. And therefore, I was also feeling so lucky that having the opportunity to touch such modern instruments. So this is actually the microscopes, but this microscope only could be operated using the computer program. So it's kind of robot. So you just you know start to operate it through your programs in the computers, and then you could measure, you could analyze the activity of a single neurons isolated from the brains, and then we can also reveals many things about the biology of the neurons. So this is me spending my latest winter in 2016, this is also my latest spring in my university. So I my laboratory was here in the fifth floor, and actually this is quite big buildings composed of probably 50 laboratory investigating with a different focus. And so then on about February or latest February or March, I forget about it in particular. So I graduated from GT Medical University. So I earned my degree in medical science. So I got a PhD or a doctor of philosophy in human biology. And ever since then, I returned back to Indonesia, and I continue my obligations as a teachers and researchers in animal physiology. So I recently published my book, Physiologi Hewan. So it is the textbooks that you may will use it when you study the animal physiology in, I mean, per fifth semester. So it's not for second or first year students, but when you enters the fifth semester, then you will learn about animal physiology. So this book I recently published through the Andalus University Press. It will also be the mandatory, I mean, it's not a mandatory, right? It's the recommended textbook that you may take for supporting your understandings on lectures. And beside focusing on lectures like animal physiology, I also publish uh, my research in a book. So I perform a research in animal physiology. We investigated. I have two projects right now, funded by our government. So my research was about is about dietary fibers. So dietary fibers isolated from jicama. So bengkuang, we call it bengkuang, but in English it is called jicama or yam bean. So I published this book, and yeah, one of you probably had this book. Fauzan, previously I gave Fauzan one samples of this book, but I just, you know, I'm not sure that Fauzan will be interested with such matter, because this is about the research, and I describe about how to isolate the fibers from these tubers, and then how to perform a research revealing whether this jicama fiber could prevent many diseases like obesity, diabetes, and liver disease. And yeah, this is part of my hobby. It's so beside my major academic professionals or obligations, loving the biology and performing research in biology, I also have really great interesting interest in fictions. So since when I was elementary schools, very young boy, since that I was really excited whenever my teachers lend me books like novels or even short story. And yeah, recently I also published my novel. So this is beyond of my academic my academic matter, my academic obligation. So I also write a novel beside writing a book for textbook for lectures, and a book for research. The report of my research. And so probably it will be available soon this week. And it's just a very short, very simple novels. So it only consists of less than 100 pages and with 9 chapters. So it's like I'm telling about a boy in this book that involved in the conflict in the family, and yeah, that just some story of fictions. And so because I really love my hobby in fictions, and I really also love my I am a big fan of writing short story. And fortunately, about 5 years ago, I got a third place in national competitions of writing short story. So I win. I won at that time and getting yeah, it's kind of something interesting that you could win something that is not, it's not your major. Okay, so my major is in biology, of course, and when I joined it such competitions, I felt okay. I am a biologist, but I just want to reveal to myself and just convince myself that I could also do something that I'm really interested with. So I also sometimes publish my short story in digital magazines like this one in Scientia. You could search it in the internet. So I love to write a short story. So some of my story also publish it in digital magazine. And beside fictions matter, I also love gardening. So I love to plant some fruits in my gardens by myself, and also flowers and vegetables, because my parents are farmers, and when I was living in my hometown, I spent a lot of time, planting flowers and vegetables and fruit as well in my home, and therefore, I continue to also uh, spending my spare time during like holiday or during the lockdown even, to continue planting many kind of the flowers, and also it's gardening. And this is my new collections that I obtained this taro. We call it talas, but in English it is taro. So this is a taro originated from Mentawai Island. So I purchased it from my friends, and I recently proposed financial support from our government to support my study, because probably next year I will investigate the tuber part of this Mentawai taro, and recently I also tried to cultivate it in my garden. So I designed my garden by myself, and I enjoy it. It's been a gardening design, and I also have a baby. She's now 2 years and a half years. 2 years, yeah, 2.5 years old, and she loves of you know looking at the pictures of biology, because in my home I have a bunch of reference of biology. So sometimes also my baby loves to work to scrutinize each piece of the pictures in biology reference, like human anatomy and also histology, and also the genetic matters like this, you know focusing on the bending of DNA. So that is my baby. So I think that's all about myself, and I think if you have any questions about me, or probably about before we start of our lectures focusing on we will talk about the conditional sentence and preference in these 2 weeks later. Do you have any
May I
questions?
ask something,
Yes, sir. I'm
sir?
sorry, sir.
Yeah, if you have any questions, you may ask to me. Imam, do you have any questions?
Yes, sir. I just have any question, sir.
Okay, please.
Okay. Thanks for the opportunity. First, I want to know that, sir, you had written so many books, from scientific and novel, and there's a short story about Japan, and you got become a winner. And I just want to know that how to improve our lecture, our skill from that's one. And I just want to ask the second, mister,
Mm.
to be honest, when you start speaking, I just heard the British accents, and you're speaking really well. And I just want to know how to. Can you give some tutorial or tips to speaking English really well like that, sir? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mom. I appreciated it. I consider it's kind of, yeah, no. But also, honestly speaking, that your English is also fascinating. You have a great pronunciations and very fluent. So I believe you also have a great TOEFL score. I bet. So I would like to answer your first questions about how I try to keep up with such many kind of, you know, uh, beside writing a textbook and conducting research and then write it, compose it to be books, and also then I also enjoy writing novels and write short story and also gardening. So I think because I always make a programs for myself, and I always try to focus on my improvements day by day. So, for example, I forget, I have not actually. So I'm typically a person. I would like to show you this book. Can you see this one? Probably. So actually, I
Yes,
have a.
sir.
Yeah, can you see that I'm showing a book right now? I'm not sure that my camera is on.
Yes, I see that, sir.
So I have my own notes, and it's kind of like a daily note that every day I have an agenda, and I focus my concentrations to complete all of my agenda to be done before the night. So for example, in the morning, right before subuh prayer, like about 4 p.m. I usually get up earlier, and then start to pray, and then I also love to reading, and start to reading like reference about science, and also prepare my lecture for the previous lectures, I mean for the next lectures, and also thinking about my research plan, and also try to running a stop something like that, right? And after that, I also, yes, so the morning, for me, morning is a precious time. So since that my brain is still super fresh, and I can absorb anything, I can express all of my idea about research, and about also writing novels, and as well as like so story. So that's, I think, because I manage my time. I'm trying to manage my time in such a well manner, and at least I also always try to write what I want to do, what I want to reach. So for examples, uh, re- right now I also have an ambitions to publish my another book, probably 3 books for. And so recently I'm preparing to continue, because I have many drops of novels as well. So I'm also preparing my fiction projects, my research project, and my lectures project. So I have a bunch of projects, but I also try to enjoy my days, because like during the lockdown, I just stay home forever like that. So I love to watch a movie. So watching a movie could increase of our human sense, and also understanding about the storyline and something like that. And I love Western movies, like English speaking movies, and therefore by watching movie a lot, I could improve my English proficiency. So that is, I think, my shortcut how to maintain the productivity. And because since long ago, I have a kind of the behaviors to write whatever I want to do in my daily lives. For example, today I need to run talks, and I need to uh, prepare my paper and also my presentation. So I have to do it. Because if I never write it, then I will be easily forget about it. So therefore, I write it on my berry. This is a classical method, I think. So I couldn't write it on my smartphone. Of course, we have a very smart device, right? Modern device that we could, put our agenda there. But when I try, yes, I have tried to put my agenda on my smartphone, but it is kind of I couldn't focus on it. Why? Because every time when I touch the smartphone, then I will be easily distracted because sometimes I then move to checking my Instagrams and checking my Facebook and checking my emails and etc. So it's not kind of that better situation for me to be focused on my agenda, and therefore sometimes I just you know just left my mobile phone in my living rooms or some places that I couldn't reach it as well, but I just focus on my notes. So just try to increase my concentrations. And also, Imam, you asked about my English, so I think it's not so good, but yes, I bet that I try to focus to improve my English. So since long ago, when I was graduated from my senior high school, I just got a TOEFL score of 500. So that's yeah, for general, that was yeah, medium level with 500 TOEFL score. But that I completely realized when I joined with university, that was not enough for us having only 500 TOEFL score, and I also having troubles with many kind of reading proficiency, listening proficiency, and also speaking proficiency. And since then, I try to by my daily basis, I try to practice in English by myself, like when I'm spending my time in the bathroom, like singing or try to make conversations with myself and myself, talking with myself. And yeah, sometime when I have an opportunity, I will join with English course, like a TOEFL course or yeah, any kind of another course. And I also try to um, making a closer relationship with my foreign poles. So I have it's not so many friends, but I have some friends living in Canada, for example, in USA as well, and also from Mongolia, China, and India, and also Bangladesh. So I try to contact them regularly, like making a phone calling and also uh, chatting and also sending an email to them. So I think that will improve. That's give a very significant effect on my improvement in my English. And I'm not sure that my yes, some friends or I mean, some friend told me that my accent is slightly like British or Australia, but I don't know. Probably because a long time ago I loved watching Harry Potter, so I don't know. But I also, when I was child, I also loved to listen to radio. This is a British radio, and I love to listen to the British actions, and probably that's affect my actions right now. But I never visited the UK, and but when I was in Japan. So my supervisors, one of my supervisor was actually graduated from Oxford University. So he spent probably 25 years living in USA and also United Kingdom as well. And therefore, I interacted in very frequent with him during my study in Japan, probably 4 years, and I noticed that actually he also speaks in British accents because he lived he I mean he has lived in United Kingdom for such a long time, and therefore it may affect me. But still until today that I'm trying to I'm on my way improving my proficiencies, like not only in speaking but also in writing, because I also have to publish my paper in English, and sometimes I have to attend a conference and present my research in English, and sometimes I also need to explain. But yes, like our today lecture, for examples, and I also in master degree levels, I also have to talk to teach. I mean the international students, and therefore I think it's yeah, it's kind of mandatory work for me to improve my English in order to make it better. So I think that's all, Imam. Hope
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir. That's really
okay.
could help us.
Okay, hopefully that you can catch something. So I'm sorry, I need to drink some water here. I have a problem with my throat sometime, like getting inflammations. Sorry. So today, I'd like to continue our lectures. Um, Previously, you have learned with Mizozi and also with Pak Nadi about uh, many part of basic English content. But here, this is my part that I will be focused only on conditional sentence and also preferences. So for this 2 weeks, probably we just focus only understanding the conditional sentence, and for the latest week, then we will continue to understand about the preferences. So I bet that you have discussed it with Ms. Ozzy about the type 0 and type 1 conditional sentence. But I just want to, take a look back at here and taking a general overview in before we continue to another type of conditional sentence. So, but there are actually 5 types of conditional sentence, and there are type 0 to the mixed, the very advanced, the mixed types. So as you notice here, actually, in okay, I have to move this panel first. Okay, so as you see here, the type 0 is actually some things that has 100% of possibility to be happen. So that why it's called it conditional type 0, because it's telling you, it talk about the laws, about the rules, and that will be considered as generally true. For example, this sentence, a very simple sentence, ice melts if you hit it, of course. So this is having 100% of possibility when you when you heat an ice, then it will melt, and that is having higher possibilities, and therefore type 0 is about the fact, 100% of the fact. But for the type 1, it's quite similar with the type 0 actually. It's also talking about the high possibility thing like this, but the context of the sentence is about the future situations. So for the type 0 is about the recent or the common situations, but the type 2 is about the future situations that we believe are real or having a high possibility to be happen. So these 2 types, type 0 and type 1, having a high possibility to be happens. So when you, for example, want to tell to your friends about such conditions, in biology, for example, we are also dealing with many kind of uh, you know uh, natural laws and the rules. Like for example, if you digest the carbohydrates, it will be so a kind of that telling you about a fact. But for the type 1, it's telling about the futures that something will be happens in the futures. So, for example, I don't want to stay in London unless I get a well-paid job. So, yeah, this that's something that it is about possibility to be happens. That so this is the main clause, and this is the if clause, the unless or if, or we can say in another way that I don't want to stay in London if I don't. So I mean I don't want to stay in London if I get a well-paid job. So the type 0 and type 1 talking about the fact, but for the type 2, type 3, and the mixed type, it is talking about the impossibility. So when you, for example, talking or describing about something that is impossible to be happen, both in the present and the futures and also in the past, you have to use the type 2, type 3, and the mixed conditionals, not for type 1 and type 0. So let's focus on this type 2. So type 2 is to imagine the present or future situations that are impossible or having a very lower possibility to be happens. So it is about non-reality. And what's the difference between type 2 and type 3 is if we talk about the possibility of futures and the present situations, then we should use this expressions conditional type 2. But for the something that has happened in the past, then we have to use a type 3. So it is used to imagine a different past. So this is the past and this is a present or future about the impossibility. And when so another type, it's kind of derived from the type 3. So we learn here that in the mixed type that it is used to imagine the past change. So it is also related with type 3 actually. We imagine about something happened in the past with a result in the present. So we are also talking about the present results or present consequence of today or this current situations, or something happened in present change with the results in the past. So it's like in previous situations. But the key is this is about the impossibility and this is about the possibility. So when, for example, you find a sentence in the text or in the conversations, how will you identify the types of conditions? Which conditional sentence of this, for example? Um, so what should we do? First, we have to determine about the context of the sentence. So by understanding of such sentence, then we will directly understand what is the context of such sentence. So what's the point that we will get from understanding the content of the sentence? We will obtain the information about the possibility. So whether such a fact or such a thing that describe it in such sentence is talking about a possibility or impossibility. So if something talking about a possibility, it should be type 0 or type 1. But if the sentence is talking about impossibility, it could be another types, but type 0 and type 1. So what's the point? We have to determine, is it plausible or not? Or something to be or has been happened, and does it tell the fact or opposite situations or something unreality in reverse? And then so talking about the plausibilities, as we said before, that if we talk about something that is true, then we have to use type 0. And if we want to tell about something that probably happened but it will happen in the future, that yes, something that maybe happen, so we'll use type 1. But for the type 2, maybe not. There's something that might be not happen. And this is also in type 3, we talk about something in reverse. So you tell about something this way, but your sentence should talk it in another way. So, for example, in this sentence, if I drink a coffee, stay awake. That's a fact because coffee contains a caffeine, for example, it will keep you to be stay awake. But if I drink coffee, so I will stay awake. It is mean that recently you are not drinking coffee. You did not drinking coffee, but probably in the future you will drink a coffee. Then you will stay awake. But this type 2 is talking about the past. If I drank, so this is in the past form. I will stay awake. But this one also talking about you, but something that had happened in the past. If I had drunk coffee, I would have stayed awake. So the consequences and also the conditions had happened in the past situations. And after identify about this, determine the situation, the context of the sentence, then we also have to identify the clauses. So it is, I think that with Ms. also you have recently also studied about it, how to identify the clause, which is the conditions, which is the main clause if clause is the conditional statement, while the result is about the conditions or consequence of such situations or conditions. So you may put the if clause, the conditions in the front part, or like this in the latter part in reverse manner. So whichever the forms, but it will be constantly be such a definitive part. If clause is telling you about the conditions, and the main clause it will describe the results or consequence of such situations. And then after you identify the context and also about this one about the main clause and also if clause or conditions, then what should we do? You have to identify the tenses used in such sentence. So whether the sentence if clause is presented in present tense or in future tense or in simple past or in the past perfect. So you have to identify to determine whether this is related with such types of conditional sentence. So this is the formula. So for the zero, this is a present for the same for the tenses, presence, and this verse also talking about the presence, but it is followed by will. I mean the future, talking about the future tense. But for the second is a past simple. So this one, for example, if I wasn't sick, so was is not am. I am. So it is in the presence. If you change it to be if I am sick, for example, I'll go to shop. So it would be the first. But if I wasn't sick, I'd go to the party. So it will be the second type because this is the past simples. But when the sentence in the context of the past perfect like that, if I had left earlier, it wouldn't have been late. So it's kind of the conditions that you will determine it easily by focusing only what kind of the tense is used in such sentence. If it is in the present tense, it could be first and zero type, but if it's in the past simples, it will be definitely the second types of conditional sentence. But if is in past perfect, that should be the third types. So just focus on conditional type 2, as I mentioned before, that it is to imagine the present or future situations that are impossible or unlikely in reality. So the formula is E followed by the past simples, and then the subsequent sentence is with would and infinitive. This sentence, for example, if I were you, I wouldn't mention it. So this is the past simples, and the consequences or the results of such situations should be started with wouldn't mention it. So it is telling you about impossibility. So in the facts, actually in reality, I am not you. I am not you because this is only imaginations. If I were you, so if you notice, for example, the songs from Beyonce, if I were a boy, so Beyonce is not a boy. She is a woman. So she just, has imaginations that if she were a boy. So if I were you, so in reality, actually, I'm not you and you are not me. So if I were you, I wouldn't mention it. But in such situation, because I'm not you, that you would mention it. I don't know what is it. It probably something rude or something that you're telling a fact, which it's something telling about situation that you actually don't have to spill the bean. So what's the difference with conditional type 3 is to imagine a different past with imagine a change in the past situation. So we're talking about. So this is the formula if plus past perfect sentence and subsequent sentence should be followed would have. So it is different with this one. Just only would, but not with would have. Because it's something that had happened in the past. We wouldn't have got lost. So this is the past, right? Would not have got lost. So this is written in past perfect. We write it in the past, only past simple, for example. Just make it we would lost. If my phone hadn't run out of battery cells, it would have or wouldn't have. If my phone hadn't run out. So this is the if clause. This is in the clause. I mean, this is the clause, the condition, and this is the results in previous sentence. You may write it in different like starting with a if. If my phone hadn't run out of battery, we wouldn't have got lost. So what's the fact about the sentence? That actually the consequence, the fact about the sentence that we have lost actually in the past. And the condition is due to my phone had run out the battery. So this sentence telling you some things about this fact, but in opposite way. That's kind of the imaginations. And the mixed type. So mixed types, a mixed type of conditional sentence is to imagine the past tense with the results in the present or present tense with the results in the past. So there are two types of mixed conditional sentence. So there is past present types. Is imagine how a change in the past situations would have a result in the present situation. So it's telling you about the past, but it has a consequences during today, during no day situations. So this, for examples, if I hadn't got the job in Tokyo, I wouldn't be with my current partner. So actually, in recent, in nowadays, in current situation, in the present situations, this person is actually with his current partner. So if I hadn't got a job in Tokyo, it's about the last things in the past, and this is the conditions. I wouldn't be with my current partner, or you can write it in a different way. I wouldn't be with my current partner if I hadn't got a job in Tokyo. And what's different with a type 2 of mixed conditionals is that in previous situations, so present followed by the past. So you're telling about situations happening in the present and it's the consequences of the past. So this is a formula. So this is past perfect, should be past perfect, but this is for the past simple, like in type 2. So this is like a type 3, and this is like type 2 conditional written in past simple, but followed by would he, would have, I mean. So it's really important. It's just preliminary sentence, but this is the context. If it wasn't, so if it wasn't, so this is past simple, right? Was not. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have called you on your holiday. So this something happened in the past actually, but this is also telling you about the present situation. So that is the mixed condition sentence. So I would like to show you about a video. Hopefully that you could see the text where I cannot turn it on. Unfortunately.
If I had not done what I did, you would all be dead.
So if I had not done what I did, you would all be dead. So this is Morgan Freeman. Do you know Morgan Freeman? He is a very famous Hollywood actor playing in many movies. And so this is how they use the sentence, the conditional sentence. So this is like conditional sentence type 3 and the mixed type, because he telling about something that had happened in the past.
This is my kingdom. If I don't fight for it, who will?
So this is my kingdom. He said that if I don't fight for it, who will? So this is telling you about type 2. I mean type 1, because it's telling you about the present situations and the future situation.
If I had not done what I did,
You'd all be dead.
you would all be dead.
Can you
This is
hear
my
the voice?
kingdom. If I don't fight for it, who will? She loves you. If you don't love her, you've got to tell her. Oh, no. If you come, you may never get back home.
Fine by me.
If your father dies, you'll make the deal, Sonny.
So this is type 1, right? Talking about the future.
If he's innocent, Why is this taking so long?
It is also about the present
No argument with
situation.
you, brothers, but if you don't release her, you'll never see home again.
If you're good at something, never do it for free. And if you ever need anything, just give me a call.
If there is anything I can do, please call.
If you want to win the war tonight, we have to make a deal.
So that is the common sentence used in the movie in real conversations, also in our daily life conversations when we talk about the situation that will happen in the futures, but the conditions should be considered about today. So I think then I could share such the clips of movie talking about sort sentence used by the actors in Hollywood movie later in our WhatsApp group. But I would like to tell you about our next talks. So based on our lectures today, you have to divide your own group. So who is the leader of our class? Fauzan or Imam, or who is your the boss in your class now? Fauzan. Okay, so probably your boss, the leader of your class, will divide uh, all the members of the class into several different groups. Probably we are 33, right? So 35, sevens. Yeah, probably, but seven groups. So please then divide your class to be seven groups, seven different groups. And in each group, this will be your talks in a group that you have to write down the script of conversations. So it's kind of the conversations. You can decide the topic freely. So probably you will talk about your life during the senior high school or your hometown situations or about your experience taking university, learning in university or whatever you want to. So you could decide the topic freely, but the script of conversation should contain the all type of conditional sentence from 0, 1, 2, 3, and mixed types. So you could incorporate it, the sentence into the conversation scripts. I bet that you have played a drama during your senior high school or even junior high schools. So just follow such conversations, make a script of conversations, and then after you decide the topic of your conversations and the script that you want to make it with your group, then please practice such conversation script with your group to develop a perfect conversation. So it's kind of an exercise for you to mention, to speak in such conversation using the conditional sentence. And so please practice before the lectures, before we start our lectures. So you may use many kind of the platform that will mediate your meeting, probably through WhatsApp, a conference call, or probably through Zooms, and also MS Team probably, or any kind of a platform that will facilitate your interactions with your own groups to practice such conversations that you have written down. And then next, please submit the script. So after you practice the script and you have a great understanding on such conversations, and you in your group agree that all the sentence all type of conditional sentence have been incorporated into the scripts, then you have practiced it and you think that's kind of the perfect script and also perfect conversations with your friends. And then please submit the file of your scripts written in the Word. So you submit it in our WhatsApp groups. So probably only the representative of each group So we just, for example, the leader of each group will submit it through our groups without, and then so you share such the script with the entire class member, also with me, and then we will read it. And what we will do the next that you will demonstrate it. They demonstrate the conversations you have made. You have written down. So you will demonstrate the conversations in our online class in the next meeting, and we will read your script of conversation. And you will, practice it as kind of the conversation, direct conversations online, and then we will understand about the conditional sentence. Use it in your conversations. So, about the length of such conversations, probably the maximum is only 3 minutes conversations. The maximum length, so you don't have to make such long scripts. Just prepare, probably medium or short conversations that will be in up within 3 minutes or less. So yeah, just want to practice of how to use the conditional sentence in the real conversations, and also how also to practice to pronounce it as well with our entire class. So that is our talks. I will share such our recording of our video today, and also the slide. I also could share it with you later. Uh, Okay, I think that's all from me. Since that we also have almost finished up our meeting today, I just encourage you to, you know, try to improve your proficiency in speaking any kind of language. Actually, not only in English. It is the common fact there is no shortcut to be proficient in English, but you have to practice it in regular. You have I think you still have a very very adequate proper times to improve your ability until you really need it, because you are in the first semester of the first year of your university, and like students exchange programs or the requirement for TOEFL score or your capacity in speaking in English will be probably required on third or fifth semester or after you graduate. So I believe that you still have a bunch of time to improve your proficiency about in listening, in speaking as well, and also in writing. So please just motivate yourself by watching movie, any kinds of movie that use an English for their conversations, and also you also could read many kind of the enjoyable story in online platforms, or also sometimes like me, I love to sometimes buy novels written in English, so I push myself to understand such a story, because learning about language is about practicing such a language. It's similar when you learn about how to ride a bicycle, right? So when you want to ride a bicycle, you don't have to understand about, firstly you don't have to understand the physical part of the bicycles. You don't have to understand it very well about that the scientific backgrounds of such a bicycles and how to repair it. You don't have to it. All you need to do is just try to practice to ride a bicycle directly. So you take the bicycles, then you try to drive it by yourself and try to write it. And that is the similar situations when you want to be proficient in any kind of the language in this world. So for example, in May, when I was first time arriving in this city in Padang, from my hometown in Europe, because in Europe in my hometown we did not speak in Minang, and I never interacted with people speaking in Minang. But here almost 100% people speak in Minang, so it's quite overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed with such situations, because when I was, for example, like if I wanted to buy something in a cafeteria or in shops, then they will speak in Minang, and therefore I just it challenged myself that I have to be proficient in speaking Minang within a very short period. What I did is actually that I try to practice it day by day. I spoke with my friends and practice it every day. And after less than 3 months living in West Sumatra, then I thought that I have a very better improvement and a greater improvement in speaking Minang. Then now I'm like I could speak Minang like a native speaker. So I learned about a very traditional form of such language, and I learned from some reference, and also speak with person from literatures department that also focus linguistic department about a very classical format of such a language. So it is really impossible for us to learn about many kind of language in this world, and particularly in English. Why I recommend you to practice to study English, to improve your ability in English, because it's like the golden ticket for your future. So even for example, you are not well, you're not great in understanding in biology, but if you are supported with high proficiency in speaking English, you may be in study in USA. You will have a higher opportunity to be selected as a students exchange programs to travel to Japan, to Korea, and like in Australia, because your ability to communicate in such international communication platforms is commonly needed, instead of only speak limited with your own language. So I think it's better for you try to keep motivate yourself, practice it by yourself day by day. And in case of me, I spend probably 30 minutes, for example, a day. I try to watch YouTube that like a TED Talks. I could recommend some link for you to watch it, that people try to speak about motivations, about something about your research and editing in YouTube, using the TAD speech. So they conduct a speech in very well pronunciations, that it's kind of the way that may improve your how you understand, how to improve your ability to listen and also to speak as well, because you could mimic the accents and how the way they pronounce a sentence. So that's my I really encourage you to practice such a language, not only focus on biology matter, because even in your in biology department, we also requires the international atmosphere that you should speak in different language. So not only actually try to improve your ability in, for example, like Imam, you learn about the Korean language, and probably another student studying about Japanese language. So it's quite important. Also Germany. At least you have a visions in the futures that you will be mastering in one at least of uh, foreign language. So in case that me, even I stayed in Japan for 4 years, I just because I really love speaking English, and fortunately in my laboratory, the professors and also the entire staffs and the students, they try to speak in English. So even they just Japanese, Japanese people's English are not so well, but they are brave to speak in such a language, and therefore it could also induce us, motivate us to interact with them in English. And yeah, it's kind that unfortunately spending 4 years in Japan couldn't improve my ability in speaking Japanese. I just could speak in Japanese for like yeah, just for the emergency use only, something like that. I want to ask something like in such the critical situations. Of course, it will force me to speak in Japanese, but in the daily basis, I'd like to communicate in English. And yeah, that's my own choice that I decide. And beside that, I also have to spend almost my entire time conducting my research in the laboratory. So I just had a very minimum time to study the language outside the university, like taking courses or other. So I think close, because we almost spend an hours, probably no 1 hours and a half in our class today. So hopefully that you could enjoy of our meeting today, and yeah, you could grab something important from uh, our meeting today, our first meeting, and hope it also will sit our closer lessons. If you have any kind of questions, for example, not only on our academic matters. So for example, it's about your plan, but it's the way to apply the scholarship or the future, and also about any kind of something that you want to ask me. I also I am eager to reply through any kind of the platform, like through emails or Instagrams. I'm not sure that you are followed me in my Instagram, but we can also interact through it with all. So don't be hesitated to contact me, to communicate with me anytime. So I think that's all for our meeting today. And I will share this video with you later. So I commonly post the record of my video through my YouTube channels in order to give the opportunity for you to, to watch it again, to feel the situations in our class. And sometimes some students couldn't attend such a class due to, they had another, for example, reason to leave the class. Therefore, by providing such a video recording, it will give a higher opportunity for the students to also join to the lectures in live situations. So thank you very much for your attentions and for your attending in our class today. There are 33 of us, and hopefully that you will be getting something better in your futures and enjoying the academic situations in our department. And hopefully that the next year we will I mean, we can make offline, and probably we can make physically, and we'll interact in our class not only through the online class. Thank you very much. So I will close our meeting today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh. So much,
wabarakatuh.
sir.
Welcome.
Sir.
Okay,
Thank you,
so
sir.
don't forget to divide your class to be 6 or 7, I think, 7 different groups. Okay, so you could divide it by yourself and decide it, because you are the boss of the class, and you could put anybody in different groups, and then after you divide it, then you please send the file to me. So then try to working in your groups.
Okay,
I'm
sir.
sorry, sir. I have a question, sir, before.
Yeah, please. In time.
Okay, sir. When the deadline to submit a script on WhatsApp group, sir?
Oh, probably the day before our lectures, because today is Wednesday, right? So about Monday and Tuesday you get submitted. So yeah, a day before, prior to our lectures. So we will have at least 24 hours or 12 hours to read your scripts before we use it in our conversation in a class. So it will be
Okay, sir.
okay. So the deadline will
Thank you, sir.
okay the next before Wednesday. Okay, so you can set it on Monday or Tuesday, anytime between Monday and Tuesday, but don't set it or submit it on the day of our lectures, because we won't have the time to read it, and therefore we will reject it. Okay,
sir.
bye bye. Do you have any questions, Imam? No.
I think there's nothing question, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye bye. So I will now.
Bye.
Bye bye.